I just remembered something, and my mind told me that it is good that I share it with others, mostly those who are not there. But even those who are there, I want to share with you so that you remember and mostly laugh. It has to do with visiting Daniel Arap Moi and coming out with a suitcase. Yeah, it used to be a suitcase. The suitcase full of money. You come out with a suitcase full of money. Uh, it was that is why I'm even laughing. Although they say that if you want people to laugh your joke, don't laugh fast. It can be very funny, but when you laugh fast, it removes the laughter from the joke. I'll cover it up, but let me just go to the story straight. Let me go to the story straight, and then I'll give the other side. What do we call it? Side shows or side effects or whatever. Uh, when you went to see Moi and you impressed Moi, what he used to do was, after you have visited him, as you leave, you'll be given a briefcase. You'll be given a briefcase whose PIN number is 000, 3 zeros. When you reach wherever you reach, you open, you'll find that by then the largest note was 200 shillings. So you'd find that the whole briefcase is full of 200 shillings. Uh, and then you do whatever you want to do with the money, be it banking, be it investing, be it anything. That's your money. And then on top of that, you'll have a briefcase. You'll have a briefcase which you'll do it for whatever people do with briefcases. The first thing, of course, you'll do is you'll change the PIN number to whatever number that is associated with you. Uh, I would, I would really sympathize with the people who went to pick the briefcases in Cabernet Gardens. Those who picked at Cabernet Gardens. Whatever I'm going to say, I'm not aware of anything like that happening in any other place where the president used to stay. The president used to reside in state houses, Moi. There are only two state houses that he never slept in. He never slept in State House Nakuru because he would always go to his place at Kabarak. He never slept in State House Nairobi because he had a house in Kibra. So in Nakuru and Nairobi, after doing his work, he would go home. But you see, the briefcase, you can even get it at State House, isn't it? So everywhere it used to happen. But this funny case used to happen only at Cabernet Gardens. If those days you are going to get a briefcase, pray to God that you are not presented with a briefcase in Cabernet Gardens. But if you are presented anywhere, be it state lodges, be it State House Nairobi, State House Nakuru, Kabarak, anywhere else, that is okay. But what used to happen is that once you are through with the president, you are given the briefcase. As you leave Kibera, you will be stopped. One of the presidential outriders would pursue you before you reach Ngong Road. and he would order you to hand over the briefcase to him. So your happiness of getting, I think most people used to say it was 100,000. So the happiness of getting 100,000 would end as soon, would not even last for 3 or 4 hours. Now, briefcases used to exchange in two ways, but in today we are going to concentrate on a briefcase being given to people by MOI. He himself also used to get briefcases. He used to get briefcases which had foreign currencies, dollars and whatever. But him used to give Kenyan currency. Of course, if he gave you dollars, as somebody, including himself, had some plans, you could still be arrested for foreign currency, whatever. So, when you went and pleased him, when you went and pleased him, when he became so pleased with what you are saying, he used to be pleased with songi songi. So you take their songi songi, he listens to it, and is happy. He gives you the briefcase. But as I said, if you are being given at Cabernet Gardens, know that you will not even reach Gong Road. Before you reach Gong Road, he'll stop you, a traffic police officer, a presidential rider will stop you and take away the briefcase. And where will you report? What will you do that? But other places, people went to do whatever. There was even an incident, and that is why I want to pass my regards to two people. Lee Njiru, I've been seeing him being explaining about the pastor, which I gain a lot, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything. But then, when you see these gold diggers can have a bucket full of sand, but the gold that will come out of the bucket can be held on 2 fingers. So whatever stories he says, there must be some nuggets. There must be some nuggets which we gain from it. Another person who did very well was Kiptum Arap Manyinya. Kiptum Arap Manyinya, they sat down with, I've recorded it elsewhere, but I'll repeat it. Kiptum Arap Manyinya sat down and they agreed with Lee Njiru that this thing has to stop. This thing has to stop, where people came with stories and they told the president, uh, the person after being given a briefcase, he or she, if you had to approach her or him the following day, he would have forgotten. And the story that annoyed them was when somebody told the president, some people, that they have been trained, I don't know, Libya, to overthrow the government. They had been trained to overthrow the government, and that they were trained in a forest in Athi River. At the river, there is no forest. At the river, there is a stony earthy shooting range. So if you train there, the military people will hear you. So that is how the people used to do that. Finally, let me talk about foreigners giving more money. And not even foreigners, Kenyans. This thing started with Jomo Kenyatta. There was no meeting with Jomo Kenyatta without you setting aside 10,000 shillings. 10,000 shillings for Gatundu Self-Help Hospital. Everybody who visited it used to give out 10,000 shillings for self-help. And the more you visit him, you want anything to be done, you have to have some money sent there. That is also what happened to a nation this Asian, he was given some Miwani Sugar Company. This Asian, I'm forgetting the name, but he had, if I remember, I'll place it in the comment section. He he was given Miwani Sugar Company, but his closeness to the president started from Oyugi, Ezekiel Oyugi. This Indian's father had employed Oyugi's father as a house help, a domestic worker. So when Oyugi became very close to the president, he used this Indian to pay back. Maybe his father was very close to to Oyugi's father, or maybe the father even educated Kina Oyugi. That is how Oyugi made it that way. He had the duty-free shop in the airport, and what he did was one day he visited Moi, and he was told that if you want to visit Moi and your things happen well, go with a briefcase full of money. But since it is the duty-free shop, do this: place there foreign hard currency. Place their foreign hard currency so that the president will do anything you want. That is why even today you find that we have so many places, prime land, government prime land or whatever, which was given out for almost nothing. It was not nothing, but what used to happen is you see Moi and give him hard currencies, and he would, for example, the land costed 1,000,000 shillings, you'd even pay the government 10,000 shillings. So this fellow went to State House with a briefcase full of foreign hard currency, and when he handed it over, and it was very funny. Actually, after saying about this foreign currency, I'll also talk about the 100,000 in the briefcase. Now, what happens is he's ushered in a room, and as he's entering the room, he has the briefcase. You see, Moi doesn't tell you or anything, but those who have organized for the trip are the ones who tell you. So you go there with a briefcase full of foreign currency. That is what the Indian did. And this Indian, they were not friends with the Patni. Yeah, I saw him even during the Golden Bag time. So this Indian came with a briefcase full of dollars, and as he was being ushered in, they took the briefcase and placed it just at the door and said, "Go in and talk to the president." He went and they talked and whatever. Of course, he was saying that he wanted the duty-free shops at at the airport, all airports in Kenya, and so on, so on. And then the president had, there are those preliminaries. Those preliminaries. Kenyan men will tell you uh, that if someone, the Kenyan married men or even married women would tell you that some of our marriages is that they go between arranges a lot of things, so that when you meet, it is just a formality. So that is how the formality was. Just to go and talk generally. Oh, if you give me the airport, you nini. Already a decision has been made. So the president, okay, say, okay, we will give you the airport, and you talk to the Ministry of Finance, whatever they want. But you see, when you talk to the Ministry of Finance, they'll give you the lower quotation. Like I said, it is 1,000,000 shillings where you are supposed to pay the government, but the ministry will come up with valuation and say you are supposed to pay 10,000. After talking to the president, as they had completed, as he was going out, he was told to take his briefcase. He was shocked. How do I take back the briefcase that I came with? He said, no, just take it. And then when he went to his house, I can't recall what he was given, but when he opened the briefcase, he found some things, and then he was told that it is the Kalenjin way of appreciation, because in many Kenyan traditions. It is not there with the Luya, but I see it with Kikuyus. Is that somebody cannot give you a present without you giving this back something in kind. Or in Luya, it is there, but it has to do with the newly married lady. A newly married lady. Because when the lady is newly married, she sends message to her people wanting her clothing to be brought in a bag. So when the clothing are brought in the bag where she's married, the clothing are removed, and where the family that she's married into places there a leso and a few things there. But because the bag has not to go back empty. That is the point I was trying to say. So I think the Indian is called Merali, but I'm not sure. I'll say that in the comment. So when he was going back, when he opened the bag, he found some few presents, which if I remember, I'll place in the comment section. Uh, that is how money used to travel there and whatever. And that is also how um, money would go in and money would go out. Money going in was in two forms: foreigners or wanting to get a big tender, like they wanted that one of the any duty free shop at the airport. You had to take to Moi hard currencies, and if you wanted a favor from Moi or anything, you would go there with a briefcase full of Kenyan money, and it would be a briefcase full of Kenyan money, and I leave it with Moi. But if you took their songi, uh, you'd uh, you'd receive a briefcase full of 100,000 shillings. And as I said, were it not for Linjiru and Kiptum Arab Manyinya, who organized to be vetting the people who are going to visit the president, things would have even been bad, because Moi had a natural paranoia. It was an inborn paranoia. And Moi believed that when you go to see him and start looking around and say, can I remain with you? There's something. He used to trust such people. He used to trust such people, and those are the people he used to give a lot of money. Those are the people he used to give a lot of money. It is unfortunate that those people who suffered in one way or another, they are usually go against that, because Moi had suffered a lot under Kenyatta due to songi, and this is how it happened. None other than Jenga Mungai, the billionaire, Kenya Breweries distributor. He said he went one time to the State House Nakuru and told Jomo Kenyatta that something funny about Moi. Said and Jomo said, "Yeah, is that true? Yeah, let me do this. I'm a bit busy today. Can you come back on such and such a day so that you tell me? Can you come on such and such a day so that you tell me when I'm ready to listen?" And my mind is, because today I have a lot of work. I can't mix two things at a go. I want to talk to you when that day will be that day. There is a Kikuyu proverb which says, "Modenya wago ne wago." If you tell a Kikuyu that, he or she will listen to that. Now it says that the day when you are supposed to do a certain function, just do that function on that day. If you have two functions, don't do them in the same day, especially if they are major functions. So he said today is the day for meeting people, but the day for listening to you and really evaluating what you have to say. Can you come back on after 2 days? Then when he came, Kenyatta welcomed him very well into the inner office. Entering the inner office, he found Moi there. Then he said, "Can you tell me what you are saying about him when he's there?" That is the best way how to treat people who come with songi. Moi suffered as a victim of songi, but then we would have expected him, upon becoming the president, to be the opposite, but it never happened. So enjoy your imaginary briefcase full of money. Thank you.